All right. How are things, everyone? It's been quite a while here. I haven't gone live in who knows how long. In fact, I think I remember, I think I actually had a stand or something. I don't think I have it here. I can't even use it if I wanted to because now I'm plugged into a mic. And I think I made this right. Hopefully some people show up here. Generally in 30 seconds, otherwise I'm talking to myself. Oh, no, there's people. Yay. Sometimes I forget to put it to public. What's going on, Damien? How are you? How are things? How are things going? Just over here trying to kind of get back into it. It's cooler now. What's going on? What's going on, Florida on a Tankful? How you been? What's going on, Dominic? All right. Yeah, it's been a while. I think I did lives pretty hard all the way through the fall into the winter. And that's right around the time where it actually gets bearable in my garage and I can start fishing again. And I take pretty much the whole summer off and possibly part of the spring just because it becomes so busy that other things I have to take presence on besides, content creation. But hey, we're back here and we're doing all right. 11 people in the chat. Appreciate you guys showing up. Can you go ahead and hit that like button if you are able to? It just kind of helps the chat grow, or it helps the live grow. The more people in here, the better questions, the better the atmosphere. But let's talk about what we got here. So this is, I think it's kind of a pretty big deal in terms of what inflatables can be, which are pretty nice. But you kind of seen a resurgence, kind of that Neptune inflatable. And we're going to just be very blatantly obvious. When that Neptune inflatable came out, and it was pretty awesome looking, it had the custom turf job, custom bow plates, all these things. Everybody kind of wanted to, it kind of ignited a resurgence of inflatables. People started thinking they were cool again. And so you started seeing new ones come out. The Newport put out their NS130, which is a pretty comparable design to that one. I'm actually going to get one of those, and it'll probably be in this garage too. I just don't have it like open. And the chances of us getting a Neptune in here is probably next to pretty hard. We actually tried to become a dealer for one of them for a Neptune, and it was impossible. Trying to get them here. They were very much a European company, so which is cool for Europe because Europe gets like not a whole lot of anything. Like I always get people messaging me, "You guys have such cool stuff, but it costs an arm and a leg to ship it, and it ends up not being worth it." Sometimes they pay more for shipping than they do for the product. So they, for whatever reason, it's really strict over there. They can't do anything cool, like not without having a lot of money and a lot of patience. And then you have some people that build boats and stuff down there. It's supposed to be cost them a fortune to do that. It's like nuts. So, anyways, for the whole point of that, let me talk about this thing. So this is the Light Skiff Air, and it is kind of now, in many ways, kind of our exclusive boat that, through us, that we're kind of just promoting. And for a few good reasons. Because it's some of the things I didn't really like about inflatables, this one has very, very much alleviated. And all the strengths of an inflatable really come to light on this boat. It just does a better job of it. So one of my things about inflatables has always been obviously punctures. That's everybody's chief thing about an inflatable. What if it punctures? Then what? Like having a puncture or having a failure is the biggest thing. So it's either going to be a failure from the seams, like a seam failure, and then your entire air chamber deflates, or a puncture and then your entire air chamber deflates. But if you look here, right here, this actually has a reinforced rubber bottom from the water line down. Comes pretty good. So that's actually, I know you can't really tell, but that's quite protected. That is very resistant to shearing, tearing, and obviously punctures. It's and then the nylon PVC, the hull itself is actually pretty resistant in and of itself. Obviously not as much as this though. And where it's going to come to contact mostly with anything, rocks, sticks, whatever is going to be on the bottom. And so that's pretty much taken care of, especially when you drag it on shore. That's where the boat's going to have the most pressure and be the most susceptible to damage is when you drag it on shore. And this bottom is just a wonderful thing for it. And I'm not really sure the Neptune has that. I know a lot of the other inflatables that were demonstrated at ICAST don't have the HD bottom. So the HD bottom alone is just reason enough for me. But then also, you know, that's just avoiding punctures and tears. But actual failure of the nylon hull itself generally happens from glue coming undone. That generally happens from either the boat being very, very old, or in some cases it got too hot, sat in the sun, or they left it inflated for too long. And they also possibly just left it inflated in the sun for too long. Like, and we're not talking for like a day's fishing or whatever, but after a while, if you leave a glued boat in the sun for a long time, you know what happens, glue starts to soften. Sometimes it reignites. But I mean, that being said, there's so many boats out there that do glued inflatables, and they're fine. Just, you gotta know your limits with them. But this one is heat welded. That means right here, these seams, this whole back, and the seams here are all heat welded. That means no glue. It's welded together with a thermal bonding process, and the chances for failure on that are next to none. And what that means is I can just keep this thing inflated and never worry about it. I can keep this thing inflated in the sun for long periods of time, and as long as I protect it on the PVC so it doesn't get damaged by the sun, I can leave it out there for however long I want. So those two things, avoiding punctures, avoiding failures, the hull is very, very good for that. Now, if we're talking about, now that we've talked about those things, let's talk about what's really, really good about this thing. It's incredibly stable. It's got almost 900 pounds of a weight for a weight rating. It's like 880, I believe. It's a lot. It's almost 900 pounds. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. There was a ton of complaints about the light skiff having a 330-pound weight rating. Everybody hated it. I mean, even though you could put a whole lot more on that boat, nobody wanted to risk it. This one has almost 900. It's like 3 times the amount the actual light skiff with the same amount, which is the exact same size as this thing. And so that's a few reasons for that. And it's ultra stable. This is extremely stable. I mean, as stable as a 16-foot John boat. It's fantastic. Reason being, air. So most boats, like a John boat or whatever, a kayak, though they mostly rely on displacement for buoyancy and stability. That's why you see kayaks that have those funky underneath, those modified tri-hull designs, because if you have parts where the water collects to displace the water, and then it points down at other areas like towards the end, then they know that the more you try to press the end into the water, the more the water is going to resist. The water is just naturally going to resist it from pushing in. The water does not like things going into it. Like lots, there's a pressure, it's physics. I don't want to sound, for the sake of not sounding stupid, I don't want to explain it all to you, but it's pretty much displacement. Most boats rely on displacement. That's why you can get an aircraft carrier that's completely made of nothing but steel. No nothing, right? It weighs millions and millions of pounds, the whole thing. The thing floats in the water like nothing. So, and then it also takes jets and bombs and support equipment and like 5,000 people. Still floats. Why? Displacement. So most boats rely on displacement. But when you get one that has both displacement and air makes it tremendously more stable because it's air. Air hates water. Or it hates to be under it. It'll fight its way to the top. And the more and more of it that is in there, the harder it fights. So trying to sink this pontoon anywhere, this thing needs no modified tri-hull design underneath. It can be completely flat. The minute you put pressure on the tune at all, on the chamber at all, it immediately resists it. So you can be like 300-400 pounds. It'll be extremely hard to ever do anything. This is a pretty generous air chamber here. Check it out. You can walk right along this, and I have. Obviously, there's no walking room between the cooler and the area. So I literally navigate around this when I go to motor out by just walking down the chamber. Getting in there, a hole into the grab bar, and then I till. I have an extension when I till. And I haven't, this 15, I haven't ran on it yet. We're going to be actually putting a video on this. But normally there's been like an electric outboard in the back, which actually scoots this thing very generously. It goes like 6-7 miles an hour. It's pretty impressive. So I don't know what it's going to do with the 15, but the thing is probably absolutely going to fly. It's going to fly. Probably be 2 of us in here. But yeah, just it's able to take that. And then the cooler thing about this is, I mean, it's kind of got pods in and of itself. You see, not on purpose, well, on purpose, but you know, you don't necessarily call them pods, but it's kind of, you know, beaver pods on a boat that extend past the transom where the motor is. That is specifically to displace the weight of the motor so the boat stands more level and it doesn't do this. And that's what this is. So this will be quite out of the water, which is good because the transom is kind of short. So we really kind of need an extra short shaft. I don't even think they make that. So, but the motor is a short shaft, but it's going to be a little deeper in down there than I want it to be. But I don't think it's really going to affect the performance. Hopefully it doesn't. We still got to go get a few things. I'm going to go to Walmart here after this live and get a fuel hose and some other nonsense. I'm charging a battery. We took on Pro Guide batteries, and they are pretty sweet. I talked to them at the Ibex. I'll probably release a video on our outdoor store channel about them. That's coming up pretty soon. We're going to actually install all Pro Guide batteries in the Nitro, which is soon to be coming up after I get a few things out of the way. We're going to move that thing in my garage and finish it. But the cooler thing about this inflatable I like is the add-ons. They just come stock with the boat. Like when you get this boat, it comes with all add-ons. And some of the other boats, they're a lot cheaper. But then to make them cool, you have to buy the add-ons, like the floor, like the seat, like the rails, like whatever. But so this boat just kind of, it's a one-shot. You get it all. So what you get with this boat is this. So for one, you get the front. I don't know if you like saw the reel of me where I was standing at the front and then my trolling motor flipped out and threw me off the boat. And it was like a big ordeal. So that happened. But until that happened, I was having a blast up here. It is extremely stable. You can be on the very, very, very front. It doesn't sink or dip. There's no pitching. When you're up there, there's nothing. You can stand right on there. And as long as you got positive control of your boat, it's really nice. And there's just ports and stuff. It's really just tied. It's portable. Like none of it's actually attached to the hull. It's all attached through D-rings. There's D-rings here. Do a tie-down strap. And the same thing down here with the tie-down strap. And then I'm a big fan of Railblazer, which is really good because this has 6 Railblazer ports, 3 on each side, so you can put any mounts you want. But I went ahead and added 2 more since Railblazer hooked us up with a lot of stuff. So this is their like trolling motor support, which fits perfect right here for where I need it. And then we got one here for the nav lights. And so in the nav lights, they actually have that. I have to go on my other boat and get the actual boom sticks to make them work. But like this is the front nav. Where's it gonna go? Yeah, there's a backlight front. That's sweet. It has a backlight. That's good. I need that because there's like no way to really rig lights on this thing. But I go in. Nav light. You don't want it in there? Take it off. And then over here, you got 2 back here, and one of those is obviously going to be, once I get the pullback, it'll be for if you need heavyweight testing. Yeah, you can come on down, man. Yeah, but we're going to have one out here for the nav lights, and then the other one is going to hold the GoPro stick, like the Yellowtech or whatever. They actually, Railblazer has its own stick, and we'll be using that one actually. So I can be recording from the back with the 360 camera. Then I got this. And I plan on actually using this boat maybe a lot. I got a lot of crap going on for this whole winter. Like everybody else's winter, everybody slows down fishing and starts focusing on other things like hunting and winter sports and, you know, whatever. Actually down here, summer is hell for us. And we can't wait for it to end so we can enjoy the rest of the year. So our fall through winter is kind of like your guys' spring into early summer. So, and then our spring is absolutely fantastic. It's friggin' nuts. And, you know, so it's good. It's like, it's terrible for 4 months. Terrible. great for 8 months out of the year. But this, so marking this, I'm actually going to start ramping my fishing game up here. It kind of sucks for content creation because, like, you know, the late spring and all through the summer is like when fishing season is and where everybody's all engaged in it. And I just can't do it out here. I've been thinking more and more as I become more successful with some of these things, I might be able to actually go places where it's reasonable and just leave Havasu for the whole 4 months. I'm really thinking about that. So maybe we'll be able to get more content during the summer. I'm making plans, but that involves an RV and that involves staying somewhere with the RV and then maintaining a house. We were looking into a second house. Screw that. Like, I don't want to get off topic, but I'll tell you what, man, I don't know who's going to buy any houses now. Not because whether or not you can afford them, it's just illogical. Like this house, my house is like 400 grand. I wouldn't pay 400 grand for this house. It's obscene. But anyways, back to this. Like it comes with this. So two rod holders integrated into this nice little grab bar. This can be for whatever you want. You want to put a little caddies here. You want to put a little storage box unit and just attach it to this. But mainly this was for a fish finder. So people could have that. And as you're tilling and moving, you can actually just mark the fish finder from here. So this would be like a rear fish finder. And obviously there's plenty of room to mount a fish finder up here. It's got a stiff, so the floor is actually pretty stiff, but that is actually an inflatable floor. It's a high PSI rated inflatable floor that comes stock with that turf color. I mean, that's one of the things I don't particularly care about the boat is it only comes with one turf color. They should have made variations like black and gray, which would have matched a whole lot more. But that's also the reason why we did the mocha over black. And that's why we have some other stuff. Then the other thing I don't think is great, but is going to end up being great, is like this slat board. They only give you one. It's skinny. Obviously, it's just there for you to stand on. It hooks onto these slat beads with the hooks. So I'm going to try and get two of these and put them, stagger them a little bit, and then mount a seat bracket onto them. And so I'll actually have a seat back here. Because I think a lot of people really, really, really wanted the seat. That was like top complaints where I kind of kicking myself in the, you know, I'm kicking myself somewhere because I didn't pay enough attention to like what people were telling me about the light skip. So the light skip went insanely viral. Okay, it's generated the most views for this channel out of everything. We subsequently probably sold the least of those ever because why it went viral, who knows, but the main comments that were coming out of that was, where is the seat? And it's too expensive. So the expense thing, yeah, it was what it was. By the time we even got a chunk of the margin, most of that was ate up between shipping and then buying it. So the cost was a sore subject, but the bigger thing, people were just pissed about no seat, no seat, no seat, no seat. I think we might have got more no seat comments than comments about the cost of that thing. And so we're like real keen about that now. So we're thinking of any active ways to make a seat mod here for an additional, which won't be very hard because, you know, you can actually buy these. These are called slat hooks. They grab onto the slat bead. And slat beads are notorious on inflatables. I actually installed my own slats on an inflatable when I had a Sea Eagle Full Cat 375. And I made additional slats. And everybody wondered where I got the slats. But you can just make them. But you need to make your own board and polish it up and possibly turf it. So that's coming in the future. I really would like to, I don't know. So we're going to be doing that. And you guys, 32 people in the live. Thank you for being here so much. I mean, I'm a little rusty. I got to get my live skills back. And so before we had like 50, 60 people, sometimes we had up to 100. That all comes with likes though. So if you guys, you might have to exit out of the chat box to see the like button. But if you hit it, like, we'll instantly get more people in here and it makes a better live. I'm gonna try and look up some of your comments here if I can see them. Well, we're getting those likes. Pro Guide giveaway, I can talk to them, Damien, if they're willing to give away. They're pretty generous. I met the guy at Ibex right before the hurricane hit. Shout out to Florida, by the way, because we were there right after the one hurricane, and then the thing that hit Tampa was the waves from the aftershock and the high tide, and that screwed up Tampa pretty good. Like, it was all screwed up just from that when we were there, and everybody was pissed. And then we left, and then that hurricane came and smoked Tampa again. Like, fucking poor Tampa. Poor Florida, but really poor Tampa. Shit. It was all screwed up there. And, like, we went to go buy shrimp and to try and fish there, and, like, the places selling the shrimp and stuff, they were all pissed off, and some guy was going to quit. He's like, I'm tired of this shit. He was going to quit. Poor guy. We tipped him a lot of money. I do like Florida a lot. We're always going, like, I don't know, I wish they changed the dates of that boat show. We might have to go to a different boat show for that. But anyways, let's look at what you got going on here. Thank you guys for those likes. Appreciate it. What's my opinion on the reinforced area for oyster bed rubs? Thank you, Florida and Tankful. Alex Fulgira, I think is how you say his name. He actually did a video about the light skiff on oyster beds. He went and actually took them on oyster beds. Thank heaven, because there are no oyster beds that exist here in Havasu. Just a nice lake that's super clear water. Yeah, Alex has it. Oh, Alex is here? Oh, maybe he's not. All right. Yeah, well, there will be giveaways. I mean, this is the season. This is the fall season going into the Christmas season. And during the holiday season, we do giveaways. We're going to hit people up. A lot of people like you guys, just like we do. We'll definitely be giving more things away. I don't have anything now. This was a very impulsive, not well thought through stream. I just wanted to get back into it. But one last thing I want to tie up and show you what I want to do to this boat. Why are these here? These are mounting brackets for micro anchors. So I have these on my primary boat, and that's before the Lumar, Vector, and Axis ones came out, or I'd have those on my boat, but because those didn't exist at the time of building my boat, I put micro anchors on there. I really do like them and having used them. I think they'd be fantastic on this boat. Fantastic on this boat. Know where to mount them, though. That stinks real bad. But here's the whole thing about that. So, like this thing is just mounted with straps. And it actually holds this really good. When this trolling motor is doing its thing in anchor mode or nav mode on full power, this doesn't slide around or shake or rattle off. It stays put quite impressively. And so impressively that I probably will end up taking this mod off. This is actually a Railblaze T-Track with a port here, and this is their little cup holder. And I did this specifically because there was like no places for anything. I needed something for a drink and tools. Like that's chief number one problem you got to solve with storage spaces. And the inflatable is about the worst you're going to deal with. But I'm gonna take this off. This is nice here. It'll probably come off, and then I'm going to just make an extension, a deck extension, because look what we have here. A D-ring, and then an even bigger one to finish off the back. So as long as we can make this, you know what we're about. We could just make this. This is nice, well made, powder coated, high quality. When you get this, you'll be happy. It doesn't come turf like this, but we're going to be selling turf add-ons. Probably give you a pretty sweet hookup on it if you get the boat like that. But anyways, what I'm saying is this is not hard at all to replicate. I can replicate something like that, even like slightly deviated lower, not so high, and it'll just sit right here on the hull. And I'll have spots, possibly even D-rings myself from here, and they'll just tie them right here. But what I can do there is a lot of substantial things. For one, I can actually have storage. Like with storage, I get like one of these boxes, like in this box. See that one? That's a whole day box that we use on a bigger boat. It got rained on. It's not in its best quality. I'm sorry for you guys having to see it like this, but Look at that, it's pretty sweet. Little day box. I could put that right in here. I could drop that right in here. I could actually just make a wood deck, cut the hole, drop it in there, paint it gray, or paint the deck black with like oil-based enamel, and that, I could get that done in like no time. I might actually just do that, because welding a whole thing on here might just be not my cup of tea, if we're being completely honest. 27 people in the live, guys. All those 27 people, I know a lot of you hit the like button, but for those of you who just came on new, hit that like button. Appreciate it. If you do it, it'll help the live grow. Anyways, let me see here. Anyways, yeah, I'm thinking the deck. The deck, I think, is going to be a pretty cool thing. I think it'd be very easy to make. It would substantially improve the quality of our fishing experience here. Now that I'm talking to you guys, I think I will do it out of wood on purpose, because I think more people will relate to it and think it's obtainable versus using that thing. Most people don't have that thing. So I'm thinking to just make an extension here and showing you guys how to do it. We probably will also put out our own mod and extension for this boat. But the harder one is going to be, because this is going to be pretty easy. It's already got D-rings here, D-rings here. Just make holes to complement the rail blade supports, and then I could just cut a hole and drop that in, turf over it after I paint it black, and it's going to look just like that. I can make my designs in it. We all know about DIY routing. I routed this with like a Milwaukee or a Walt router. You know, the 20-volt router? Yeah, that's pretty easy to do. Like, you can do that. I know a lot of you don't want to do that, so we'll sell one that either looks like this. We sell that already, or we'll sell you one that just fits right on here. You just got to match the holes up. But that means I'll just replicate my design based off of that into the new one. But the harder one will be the back, because I do want a back deck. Now we're talking about things like a gas tank and like a battery and some other nonsense. And when it comes to those things, I think it would just be kind of nice to have a deck back here. I do wish that this had one more D-ring, like right here. But I think you can actually find these and glue these on. Now these are heat welded on here, but I think gluing a D-ring wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. A lot of the glue that you use, it matters. If you use the 1-part glue, it's more prone to fail. If you use a 2-part glue and you give it a good cure time, it holds on for a very long time. So maybe possibly another D-ring somewhere here. This also says light skiff air. It says air skiff because this is a prototype boat when I got it. They were still tinkering with the name when I got this boat. And that's why, so it's not called the air skiff, it's called the light skiff air. But yeah, having it come here, extending back here, complementing the rail blade supports. The bigger thing is having a back area extend past the caps so I could mount micro anchors. I really, really want micro anchors back here. At least one, right? Like something. Like it would make this boat substantially like more formidable out there in adverse weather. I'll tell you, the one thing I did not terribly like about the boat, like one of its biggest strengths was also one of its biggest weaknesses. Like it's so light, it moves through the water so easy. You could probably use a 30-pound trolling motor and push through 20-mile-an-hour winds or like currents. Like its thing glides through water, but just like it glides through water, the wind will grab it and you'll just be like, where am I going and why am I going this fast? Like I've never been dragged by the wind so fast in like even a smaller John boat or even a smaller plastic boat. The way I got dragged by this, the wind grabs you and it pushes you, and if you don't have spot lock or anchors, you're gonna go right into the shore or right into the weed line, and it's so horrible to get off of it. So for that reason, I really, really want the micro anchors very badly. I was able to kind of circumvent needing the micro anchors at first because we do have the Autoboat system here. This is the prototype smart head. We are currently selling the smart heads, and the actual smart heads people are going to be getting are going to be a lot better than this unit. Right now, this unit is perfect. It took care of all the issues with the legacy unit. And what that was is, you know, just all these cords going here and there, needing somewhere to put the box, you know, the puck hanging down and people damaging the puck. And now those things are gone away. Like all that stuff is in the head. One cord. That's it. Well, two technically if you count the power cord, but that's it. And then there can be a bigger motor, a more reinforced motor here, and that will handle the bigger trolling motors like the 55 and possibly the 68 pound or 67 pound Newport that everybody's all talking about. So a lot of good things here. Like this one is perfect. This is just a 40 pound Minn Kota Edge, and this one holds this boat and pulls this boat like a gem. Like perfect even. So that's just the, you can't tell what prime it is because we obviously replaced it with a smart head, but it's pretty nice. I mean, if you're talking about a GPS capable trolling motor that gives you anchoring, nav mode, and all the other perks, routes, you can find it all through an app, you know, the Autoboat app on your phone. You can drive this trolling motor with your phone, like, and it looks just like a basic trolling motor because it is a basic trolling motor that we just made smart with a head, and it hijacks the whole trolling motor, takes it over, and does all other cool things with it. But we, you know, that's part of the reason it held pretty good, but the wind still blew me all over the place. And so really the micro anchor thing, I'm dead set on making it. So I think in closing for this live, we are definitely going to try the one first, the 15 horse. This thing is actually rated for a 9.9, but we've seen people put up to a 20 horse on this thing and do really well. I think we just seen some guy in the Facebook chat put a 20 horse 2-stroke that he modified out of a 9.9, and he was like doing 30 in this, and he said it was great. I don't know if I would do 30 in this, but I think I'll do 25. Definitely 25 or 26. I'll probably run out of prop pitch before I could hit 30. If I got a higher pitch prop, which is maybe a possibility, I probably could hit 30 by myself for sure in a 15. I don't know about doing it with two people. Two people I think will hit around 25, personally, before we run out of prop. And this thing will just push us seamlessly. The Mercs are always reliable for me. I know a lot of people don't like Mercs, but I mean, they've always done me dirt. I mean, they've always done me well. They never done me dirty. So, you know, Mercs it is. Anyways, guys, I got some other stuff. Let me see what I got here. A flip down keel. I don't know what that would look like. Let me see. Carlos Fishing. Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, the back plate. Go with the back plate and then wing off. Well, the back plate is it's so far in. Like I definitely am going to use the back plate for some sort of attachment because I think we'd have to, right? The D-ring alone ain't gonna help it, but we're gonna have to have additional D-rings, I think, right here. Right here. And right here. And then we'll have an extension, obviously with a cutout for the rail blade support hanging off. And then we'll have the micro anchor, which is this. The actual anchor's on my other boat, but this will have to be like this. Or maybe, yeah, somewhere like this for us to get optimal clearance. And who knows, like in the future, possibly we can get mods just for those to mount right on here. Like there can be things done to inflatables, but they have to be obviously designed first before they can be done. But I think an inflatable that would accommodate a micro anchor, somebody should have done that already. But we will be the first to at least make a mod for it so you can do it in the interim. Anyways, guys, I think my daughter and stuff, yeah, my family's home. So I'm going to go ahead and end this live, but I really do want to thank the 30 of you in here for coming in here and help me get my live going again. We'll probably be doing more of these, probably doing one a day, one every other day. I do have a lot of things going on. I do have a lot of serious builds coming up. And kind of like how we built my boat, I didn't really do any videos on it. I just did one end reveal video on it, but the rest of the video is building up the boat we all did on live. We'll probably just do that again. It's easier, and the people who want to see it can. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for coming. I'll see you guys out there.